Hello, good afternoon, welcome to Toffee TV. It's the final word. Everton 1, West Ham United 1 at Hill Dickinson Stadium. Another draw, Pedden. I suppose the super glass half full version is 4 games unbeaten at the new stadium.
Yeah, that's very much a way to look at it. Yeah.
My version is 4 points dropped at the Hill Dickinson Stadium in the last 2 games. I'm still really frustrated with this. Not one of them fans who thinks Everton has a divine right to just beat a team because they're above them or whatever. But I've said it before, Villa are an excellent side, but this season haven't been great. When they come the other week, they were terrible on the day. And that's how you have to judge it on the day. West Ham were a team very much struggling. Obviously, a new manager gave them a little bit of a different way of playing and invigorated them a bit. But when you look at the game, they were very much there for the taking, and we got the goal. So not to not see it out and not kill it off has left me very frustrated.
Yeah. I mean, on a positive note, you've now got a new frustration rather than the Villa game. It's the West Ham game.
That is good. That's a good way of looking at it.
That's a new positive.
That is a new positive, yeah.
And we've also kick-started the seasons of Villa, Wolves and West Ham.
That's what we have to think.
That's another way of looking at it. We're sharing.
Yeah.
No, it was... Listen, without going like... I think, both of those home games have just shown up what we're lacking, basically, haven't they? It's not like... Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think it's more reality. It's more just reality of where we are.
Yeah.
And maybe sometimes it's better to live in that reality. I know we have been for a very, very long time. But maybe it's better to live in the reality of knowing what you need and what needs to be improved on, rather than maybe getting lucky and glossing over maybe what, at time. And don't get me wrong, it'd be lovely to have a certain amount of points and then realise that you're rubbish. Like
Forest sort of thing.
Yeah, like you got 25 points and then you're like, oh, actually we're not very good, but we'll be all right. I
think we're better than that.
I think it's just a case of, it's a case of the last few games, this block of games so far hasn't been great. And there is a reality hitting home that we are lacking certain things, and I don't think we can muddle through. Certainly the centre forward position, I don't think we can muddle through. Like, I genuinely believe that's going to have to be sorted out, rather than going, well, we'll just keep switching between them.
I get it, I agree to a certain extent. Do you not think Tierno Barry can grow into it?
I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
I want to live in a world where it all comes good and he's giving games and it all comes good. And I don't want to be that person who goes, oh, I've seen enough of them already. There's obviously something. He's gone to different countries over the last 3 years, and he's clearly grown into all those countries, and he scored goals in the Liga. The question you got to ask yourself, and I'm definitely not the person to answer this. You got to go. I suppose you got to go back and go, how did he score the goals? What was the secret to him scoring the goals? Was it going down the middle? Was it going wide? I don't know.
He's got a mix, I can tell you.
Yeah.
He's got a mix of goals.
So are we playing to play his strengths? Are we playing to the wide men strengths of? Or should we be going down the middle to cater for the centre forward? I don't know, but I think what needs to be sorted out sooner rather than later is something, as in like that's what we're going to stick with and we're going to go with that. Because I think this chopping and changing situation isn't helping anybody, and I think it would be better for almost like we're playing him and he's going to be the sub all the time and he's going to come off the bench, and I think that's definitely in Barry's case. I think coming off the bench isn't helping him, especially with like 10 minutes to go.
I think walking to the game last night, and obviously the team comes out, you're waiting for that, waiting to find it out. That was the only real position that was up for grabs. Really, I think everyone knew whatever else it was going to be. And I again, and people who've watched this will know that I have backed Beto. I've thought, he's deserved this chance. I've thought
he's letting you down.
He's let himself down. This season, I just don't think he's been at it. That's all, really. Despite grabbing a couple of goals, but very much like James wasn't at it then when he put you on the screen when I was talking. But there is another story to that. But I think I wanted Barry to start last night. I don't think Beto has done enough to stay in the team. And we've seen it, you know, I still think the best cohesive attacking display of the season was Brighton. And Barry was key in that. Yes, at Wolves we got 3 goals and Beto got one of them. That was, I put that down to Dewsbury old Grealish just being brilliant and enjoy them as opposed to Beto. But I think that in terms of a striker being involved in build-up play and leading the line and bringing other people into play, Tierno Barry's display against Brighton was the best we've seen of that. And yet, for the last few games, Beto got the nod against Villa after the international break against Villa. He then he left them in at Anfield and he dragged them off at half-time against Liverpool. And then Barry was on and done all right. And Everton done better in the second half with Barry. Then Barry got the start at Wolves in the Cup and then got a booking. And then that dictated why he got brought off at half-time. The manager admitted that. And then that's why last night, I was surprised he went back to Beto. It was like, no, put Barry in. And I think we're at the stage now where we've made our investments in Tierno Barry in the summer. He's been bought on David Moyes' watch. Angus Kinnear sat where you were and said Moyes rejected 99% of the players who were put to him. So Tierno Barry got past his due diligence as well. So therefore now's the time for me to go get Barry in for the next few games, play him every game and see whether he can grow into it. We're playing a team at the weekend, not to get ahead of ourselves, but we're playing a team at the weekend. Jean-Philippe Mateta, another French striker, who struggled. You know, I remember me and Andy the Piv doing, you know, when we were looking at targets when he was playing in Germany, going, this lad's raw, but he's got something. Wondered if Everton could go for him. We didn't when we did end up at Palace. Look at him now. They were talking, Liverpool were linked with him, 65, 70 million. He's grown into it. I feel like we've got no choice but to just see if we can, because it's not like Beto's knocking people all over the place and he's playing really well, but he's not scoring. He's not affecting any game right now, and that's why I would go with Barry.
I do think there's a tremendous pressure on Barry though, because I think if you've got another centre forward and they're doing well, you've got someone to emulate, you've got someone to chase, you've got someone who's also taking the pressure off you. And I feel like that pressure is swinging more to Barry now because Beto isn't doing it and he's the senior one. And I mean, that's worrying that Beto is the senior centre forward out of both of them. So that pressure goes on him, and if he's not up to that pressure, which he really doesn't look like he's up to that pressure so far, he really looks at times like he's massively intimidated by what's going on around him. If he's not up for that swings it back to Beto and the man. That's the problem we've sort of gone. We are faced with the two forwards we've got. They're very similar in their ability scale. It's not. I think Barry's got more all round better than Beto is a footballer, but it must put a tremendous pressure. And it doesn't strike me as the kind of lad so far who's handling that pressure.
Beto or Barry?
Barry. He doesn't look like, just from his body language and stuff, as somebody who's really dealing with that kind of, not dealing with it as in like, you know what I mean? Some players love it. They thrive on it. It's maybe what separates a player who's 80 million from a player who's 30 million. Is that you look at them on the pitch and the things they're doing, they've got confidence in themselves.
Isn't it that though? It's just that lack of confidence. It's that thing of wanting to get off the... It's like, at a much different level, and you're a striker. Especially if you move a club, you want to get that first goal, so everyone sort of goes, I believe in you.
No, I mean, it's
They're
not
always
me
looking for, and he hasn't got it.
It's not me like having a go at him. I'm just saying that's like a situation we've put him in. It's like, again, you can't put yourself in the place of this lad whose career has moved so quickly and hasn't really set roots down anywhere. He's got a young family, and he's like, you can't, that pressure is being thrust into it that maybe other football clubs would be like, well, you don't even have to this is the extreme, right? They've bought two strikers. One is 100 and odd million, and the other one was like 80 million. I mean, wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
But the fact that they've bought the 130 million has took all the pressure off the 80 million player, and the 80 million player is walking around with such a swagger.
Well, he's scoring the goals.
Yeah, he's scoring the goals. He's walking around with the swagger, and I know that's like completely different level to us, but in terms of like all the talks about Isaac and the other lad, Ekatiki's like, I can do what I want, and he's got that like swagger about him. Whereas I feel like with Barry and Beto, it's like Beto's like, well, we know. And then Barry gets thrust into that, and it's like, well, you didn't do well, you're coming off at half time. And it's like, I don't think that's the best environment. Where maybe if there was that one senior player, that other senior centre forward.
Right.
No,
let's put it out there.
No, not Jamie Vardy.
No,
go on. It's why I would have kept Dom. Right, that's exactly why I would have kept Dom. I don't give a monkeys. I've always been a fan of Dom, and it's why I would have kept Dom. Let's just get it out there. I've got it off my chest.
I was alluding to it. What I was saying is this almost.
It's exactly why I would.
Almost.
And I don't care what other people think of Dominic Calvert-Lewin. This is my personal opinion. It's why I would have kept Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Well, he didn't want to stay.
No, I know. I've got no no, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I was just going to say, is he almost the perfect one for Barry to have learned off?
Yeah, because everyone can fucking moan at him. You know what I mean?
In an ideal world, even forget Dom, in an ideal world, Tierno Barry would be coming in. We'd have a better version of Beto, who's the lad who's knocking them in and is taking it all, and he will be able to sort of grow into the league, wouldn't he?
I think,
as you project.
I just think that it would have been sensible to just have that.
Would you have gone for Callum Wilson then?
I would have gone for Callum Wilson. I would have.
Yeah.
And I know people all go, but his injury record. But it's that fact of he's sitting on the bench.
Insurance shit.
He's sitting on the bench. And you've got that player who can talk to someone every day in training. You know, whether it be a Callum Wilson, it wouldn't have been Jamie Vardy. Whether it's a Callum Wilson or someone like that, that what they can do to help someone else's development, to be that fella who just when the manager needs to go, you know what, this is not a game for you, and it's not a game for you, but it's a game for him, the senior player or whatever. Just someone who can take the pressure off. And I just look at these two players and I just think we're going to play tennis with the pair of them. It's going to be back and back and back, and Moyes is never going to be happy with them. He probably would have took Beto off at half time in this game, but he probably would have thought that's a bad look because I've already done this twice to both of them. I just think having that third striker, someone who's got a little...
We had 4 strikers last season.
Yeah, but someone with just a touch and nous about going, I know exactly... Like, think about, like, let's say it was Callum Wilson, right? I know the injury record is terrible, and I know all that. But imagine him coming on for the last 15 minutes with a player like Grealish or a player like Njai on the pitch, having the nous to know that Grealish isn't going to put one over. He's actually going to pull it back to the penalty spot, and I'm just going to knock it in. And I don't think Barry or Beto has got any kind of nous like that. And yeah, someone like that shows them, and then they start to lean and start to see. And by the way, I don't believe Dominic Calvert-Lewin's got that kind of knowledge either.
No, but he's the experience.
And I just think that we've left ourselves massively short, because if Barry's not doing it, I don't trust the other guy, and I don't trust Barry at this stage either. And I just think the centre forward is such... It's your number one player.
I was shocked in the summer. I said this, I was shocked that we'd gone from 4 strikers. Okay, people can go Brien and Chermiti and Dom, but it doesn't matter what you think of them. We had 4. We had 4, and they were all... Brien was a different type than the others. He was someone who could take the ball and run with it, and he made you play slightly differently, which was good. Even Yusuf Chermiti's got better attributes than Beto. Touch is better, movements. Now, listen, he's gone to Rangers and he's not pulling up any trees there, don't get me wrong. But just letting him go out, I was shocked that we didn't try to bring even one in on loan, something like that. It did surprise me a little bit, because if David Moyes gave me the feeling that he fully trusted Beto, then I'd be like, nah, sort of get it. He really likes Beto. Barry's the project behind him, it's fine. But doesn't he's not give that at any stage, Moyes, and I think the only reason Beto's still here, it's quite a big reason, but he scored goals for him.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I said this early in the summer, didn't I? He's a lad who's got Premier League goals, so you can't just give them people away who know to score. But we are trying to build another lad up, and now, me personally, I'd go all in on Barry. I'd just go, right, you're in for and I'd tell him, you're in for the next 6 games, so now it's on you. Get in there, put yourself about like you did in Spain and get some goals for me, and you're in. It's yours.
The simple fact is...
And then buy Jonathan Burkhart in January.
But the simple fact is, let's be honest, none of us trust either of them, like, for different reasons. We just don't trust either of those strikers for different reasons. And I don't think some of the players on the pitch trust Beto. I just don't think that they do. Well, it's little things like, if I'm a runner from midfield and I knock it into you, and I'm not convinced you're going to keep it for me or give me it back, I'm out of position. There's a big hole. Whereas a really good striker, when you knock it in, you can gamble because you think he's just going to give me this back. Yeah. And we're away. And it's those little things, which I do ironically think they get off Barry, because I think his touch is better and his link-up plays better, but obviously he's not doing enough to get himself on the pitch in the first place. The situation with Barry, you said it before. Everton worked all summer to bring this player in, and it's actually something that I would love to have maybe asked more of Angus Kinnear about. Is you worked all summer, like, who wanted him, who put his name forward, how long did you work on the deal, why him over other players? Is it just a value? Is it what did you see in this player? But also, how far do you feel, maybe this would have been an off-camera question, how far do you feel he is away from being like a Premier League sort of week in, week out striker? Because obviously we didn't buy, and we all know we didn't buy a Premier League week in and week out striker. It's what we all want, but it's not what we bought. And how long do we feel like it's going to get there? Because we can't just become a club that buys players. We have this dream, don't we? I think John even mentioned a couple of weeks ago or last week of like being the Dortmund, which we're never going to be, because the Premier League you can't really do that in the Premier League, I don't think. Being the Dortmund of the Premier League. Come here and we'll give you a chance. When we don't give the players a chance, like, that's the last thing we do, is give the players a chance. In
an ideal world, we would.
In an ideal world.
Because what Dortmund have done, I know the league's different, but what they've done is they've competed by not having anywhere near the level of income of Bayern Munich. They've done it with a real strong fan base, because don't forget that they were dead in 09, weren't they? That's where the 09 comes from, and that group, they were going, and the next minute they're in Champions League finals. They get players, they develop, they sell them, they reinvest. That's what we want. But the reality is, when you step back from that, most Evertonians haven't got the patience for that, because
but it's not just the patience.
No, but what I mean is that we haven't got the patience is not the right word. We haven't won a trophy for 30 years. We're very patient.
Dortmund get in the Champions League every year.
Yeah, but they didn't. They were going up.
No, I know, but they do though.
No, they do now. Yeah. But they didn't at the start of the journey. What I'm saying is, patience isn't the right word, because people will be screaming, and I'm screaming at myself for it. We haven't won a fucking trophy for that. I think we're very patient. There was over 51,000 there last night again, when we haven't won anything. You know, our fan base is unbelievable. What I mean is,
isn't it weird that we are going to games of football with the highest capacity that most people in that ground have ever been to watch Everton in a home game? Isn't that weird?
And you just take it in your stride,
and you're just like,
and it's 51.5.
And it's like, and this is what we've got to watch.
This is what. So we are on that journey, but I think that is the frustration. But it's also the thing, when you look, and we quote Brighton, and we quote Bournemouth, and we've quoted Brentford. Look at the way they do it. But also at those three clubs, there's zero pressure. Like, there's no. Bournemouth have been great, but there's been no pressure.
Those teams don't develop players like that, though, most of the time. Those teams, Brighton, develop players by sending them out on loan, and also, you know, Brentford and Brighton, whoever, they normally have decent players playing for them, who allow these players to bed into the football club. And then when their time has come and they move on, and Bruno, Visser, whoever, Tingle before them,
Watkins,
Tony,
Ivan Toney,
Watkins before that, there's always a player who's better than them. The problem with Barry is there's no one. Bethel's not really better than him as such, and it's the same. But it's not just that position as well. It's other positions. I find now, after listening and seeing, I'm actually starting to question some of the business that got done in the summer. I find the right back. I'm a broken record, I know. I find the right back and the left back situations astonishing. I find it astonishing. You were going to say astonishing. I find it astonishing. I really do. Like, the first play you went for was a right back. You never got him, so you shelved getting a right back. And now we have a centre.
Before though.
And now we have a centre back playing right back with 2 right backs sitting on the bench, and neither of them are getting on the pitch. And one of them wouldn't even be on the bench if we had other players. We've got a left back playing who isn't fit, hasn't been fit all season. And there's another left back that is never getting on the pitch either. So 3 subs are never even getting on the pitch. Dwight McNeil's never getting on the pitch, so that's 4.
2 goalies. Well, we haven't got 2 goalies on the bench.
And I'm starting to scratch my head going, because you said a couple of things about, like, the starting 11 show. Can't wait, it's going to be brilliant. Ped's going to have so many. Fucking picks itself every week.
Well, it shouldn't do, though.
It shouldn't do, but it does.
Because I do think, you're right in what you're saying, but I do also think there is a few outliers in there. Tyler Dibling should be. Illiman and Jai.
I think he's been great. He will.
Right. Illiman and Jai has been great when we signed him. He's been brilliant. But he's not playing very well at the moment. He's not playing very well at the moment. Therefore, he shouldn't be a guaranteed starter. Alcaraz is really unlucky, I think, to have not been given a go. Villa at home, he didn't bring him on when he should have gone for it. And last night he didn't bring him on when he should have gone for it. And I think them two should be knocking on, he should be knocking on the door. Yeah. I think Sierra Barry should be banging on the door. So I do think, and then Merlin Rowe, hopefully.
I think, listen, I'm not sitting here. I had people saying to me at the game about Moyes. No. I heard people coming out, apparently at Wolves, there was a little bit of toxic, people.
About Moyes?
About people who didn't want him are starting to come out the woodwork.
Well, he will. Man.
People last night, someone was like, almost having a go at me. He has to be questioned in certain things.
Of course he does.
One of the things I think he has to be questioned about, though, is, and this is, David Moyes is the person who told us to be more optimistic. David Moyes is the person who told us what we were aiming for and our ambitions going forward. This is not my team. My team don't look like that. My team are more ambitious. And I'm not. But
9 of the 11 played last season.
But there's a massive negativity. There's a negativity in his substitutions, almost like, I'm not going to give you a go till we get to this certain points tally, and then we'll give you a go. I can't lose this game, and I can't lose. Like this thing, it's almost like last season where you can't lose at Goodison. It's the same thing this season. It's like, we daren't not lose at the new ground. We daren't lose, so I will take a point from this game rather than go for it, like, by bringing a sub on against, like.
Well, no, I get
it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, but I do see that. What I would say, and maybe the only thing I'd say to that is, wouldn't he look at it and go, this is, like, I came in January and it was a shit show, and we lost 4 games for half a season, and we posted really good points tally. We finished 13th, which is higher than it's been for years. Scored more goals, we were a better team, whatever. But I did say to everybody, and also raising sort of the expectation, I did say to everybody, it starts in the summer.
Of course.
And he'll say, we're 6 games into a rebuild.
Of course, and
I'm playing devil's advocate.
I'm not like, I just think it's mine a little, like.
It's the subs thing that winds me.
It's not just the subs thing. Like, couldn't we, like, if something's not quite working, couldn't we swap in Jai and Grealish? Couldn't we just think, honestly, like, no, for just 10 minutes go, we're going to swap them round, we're going to put Jai back on the left, but we're going to put Grealish. So Grealish has to stay on his left foot, so he's not going to take the byline, and he can whip balls in earlier and just, like, mix it up for 10 minutes
and then switch it back.
Switch it back.
Mix it.
Just mix it up so it's not so predictable all the time. The subs thing is the thing where you're saying about being the positivity. I get Dibling. I do get Dibling. He came in late. He came in very late. And again, I think that's a major issue. And I think that's why Moyes was moaning all summer about getting the players in. I do think do think and I also think that most of the players we brought in, we could have brought in ages ago. Like, there's no reason, you know, Dewsbury Hall maybe with the World Cup Championships, but there's no reason why we couldn't have just gone to City. We want him. We want him now. Maybe they just didn't want to pay the wages for a month and two, but having him in. Tyler did, yeah, we got the price down, we negotiated to get that, so he's coming late. I do get Dibble and I do get easing him into the team because actually there is no rush in terms of like he has to play or whatever. He's a good player. And actually I thought when he come off the bench last night, I thought it was a nice little cameo. He kept the ball well, he drew a foul. He looked a lot more confident and he's going to be needed in the next 2 games because of players we're missing. But like, it is like, it just feels a little bit like Carlos Alcaraz is the weird one because he might be starting on Sunday. He might start on Sunday, and he's a player who played the back end of last season to prove himself, and he did prove himself. He got obviously signed. I mean, maybe now we're starting to see why he didn't get a big contract. Because maybe the manager wasn't 100% sure and was just like, well, just sign him, whatever, it's a number. But I do find it strange because I like Carlos Alcaraz. I think he's a good player. I think every time he comes on the pitch, he carries the ball really well. I thought he was unlucky at Wolves to be like dragged off. I didn't think he deserved to be dragged off the pitch because he does open the pitch up and he runs with the ball nicely. And actually, his connection with Beto is probably the best at the football club.
Well, he's the one who plays the ball. So we don't really have other.
And I find like there are moments where maybe Moyes could go, yeah, it's, you know, I didn't think Dewsbury Hall played that well last night. That you wouldn't look at him with 15 minutes.
But Idrissa was gone.
Yeah,
I love Idrissa. So
but I'm saying Dewsbury Hall last night. Dewsbury Hall last night. It was only in the last 10 minutes that he sort of come to life. Where it's just like, I'd have looked at him with 15 minutes to go and gone, you can come off, you know, you can be sub.
No, well, he can make changes, and maybe that's where he needs to. Listen, Everton with the better team in the first half. Illiman and Jai had 2 opportunities, 2 shots, both weak, both at the goalkeeper, straight down the goalkeeper's throat. We did take the lead, great ball in from James Garner, and a really good header from Michael Keane. And, you know, maybe people were right all along, maybe just play Michael Keane up front. Yeah. Because he's clearly the best finisher we have currently at the club. It was a great header. It was a great ball from James Garner. Yeah. Whipped in with pace. He comes off the defender. Great little flick. And we're winning 1-0. And at that stage, it was like, right, can we build on it?
Yeah. No, we couldn't. No, it was a good goal. It was a good goal, and we just, I suppose we let them off the hook. But it's the same. It's the same stuff all the time, isn't it? Going wide, putting crosses in. You know, Jack Grealish put a header wide, but it's not exactly synonymous.
Dewsbury Hall was the best one, wasn't it? Often Jai's crossing, flashed the header wide. That if he gets that on target, that's 2-0.
Yeah, you know? But we're not necessarily making. We're being wasteful, very wasteful with good opportunities. We're being wasteful, and we're not.
Don't you think we should be putting a few balls in early though, and asking Beto to get across the defenders?
I do think
flashing them across.
I do think
slow the game down.
There shouldn't be a thing where we're not allowed to say Jack Grealish should have done this or should have done that. There is like a weird thing of like, don't you know what you've got here? Like, I've seen that a bit. Like, there's times where Jack Grealish should be doing stuff that he isn't doing. Let's get it right. There's opportunities for him to have a shot, and there's opportunities for him to throw it in first time.
Crosses it.
And he takes a touch.
Hang on, didn't his dad say last week on that Sherwood thing, he had said a couple of words of advice from your dad, shoot more and get balls into the back post.
Wasn't that 10 years ago though he said that?
But he said it to Sherwood like last week.
No, there are times where Grealish doesn't always pick the right option. Don't get me wrong, he's exciting, but he's not like, we can't have this mentality of like, everything he does is perfect when it's not. Don't get me wrong, I think he's an amazing player and I'm very, very grateful, but also I think there are times where you have to look what you're playing with and go, I might need to dumb this down. Like, I might need to play. I am only one of 11. I'm going to have to help them. And that means sometimes just standing across it and saying to the centre forward, go on, you attack that ball, rather than everything be absolutely picture perfect. And I think that's the City.
I think if he speeds it up and throws a couple fired in crosses with, like he did for Njai against Brighton, just get it across early and let the defenders have to deal with it, or the keeper. We've got a chance. He's trying to be too perfect, and I told you the second half, he plays in front of me where I sit, and I can see him, and my view's unbelievable. He's waiting and he's going past, and I'm looking, thinking, no one's moving for you, Jack. So you're gonna have to, if you're trying to just dink one in, it's got to be perfect. Whack it across and let them deal with it.
That's what I'm saying. It's not a case of, people stand and watch him. And I've seen some before going, well, Mykolenko went past him every time. Well, he didn't. But Mykolenko going past him doesn't mean he has to pass to Mykolenko. He's just creating the space. But Jack at times just has to go, you're right, I'm going to fire this. Because it isn't Manchester City.
No.
You know, Phil Foden isn't pulling back into space on the penalty spot, or Haaland, on the penalty spot for you.
Gundogan.
And it's actually quite what's quite funny is, I've watched City a little bit this season, and the other kid has gone up a level, hasn't he? What's his name? The Belgian lad.
Oh, Toffee.
He's gone up a level, hasn't he? And when you watch how fast he moves the ball now, and it's like so aimed. It's like you look at him and go, well, that's what City want now, and you can understand why they've let Jack. I don't expect Jack Grealish to do that, but they've almost like simplified it, and I think at times Jack just needs to go, what am I playing with, and would it be easy for me to just put a ball in there 50% of the time?
Villa, because that's what he did. He's brilliant. He's great to watch. We just couldn't get the second goal. We come out second half, and I thought we started all right, actually, the second half. We were on top again, and we've had a couple of... James Garner's had a great volley off a corner, which any nick... It's unlucky, really, because you see that so many times, nick off someone and it's in. Before the keeper can't react, and it's 2-0. We had that one, we had the Drissa Garner gay fire one just over the bar, which actually took a deflection and the referee didn't give. And we just couldn't get that second goal, but then there was a little moment where the momentum shifted slightly. It was a long ball, and I actually think Fulkrug fouls Tarkowski, the referee doesn't give it. O'Brien tries to head it back to Pickford and underheads it, and Somerville, who was excellent for them, was on it like a shot. And Pickford made a really good save with his foot, but that should have been the warning sign to us that we need the second goal, boys, because that was a key save.
I think it's scared Jake more than anything. I think Jake didn't play well.
He had an uncomfortable
the pace just terrified him, and I don't like the booking for Turkey, which was Drissa's fault. He underhit it. It's mad, wasn't it? Because Drissa, so he had 63 passes last night, and 60 of them were completed. But the 3 didn't complete. Fucking hell. They give everyone kittens, and that one, unfortunately, was which led to a yellow card for Turkey, and that sort of left him in a little bit of limbo, which for the goal became very apparent. But yeah, Jake O'Brien against pace with that much space. That's the problem, was because they were playing on the counter attack and we were so high. It gave them so much room to, like, both of their wide on the left, just kick and run, because you know you're going to do this lad for pace every single time. And I think it scared him, and I think how quickly he got on that probably scared him. And instead of going, well, I've got to do something different or give him 5 yards, it just seemed to terrify.
Well, a few minutes later we try a cross-field ball, which I still don't understand how he hasn't won the header. 6'6", he towered above Milicev, and he jumped from a standing position, which I'll never understand. And he should be cleaning Juve out, really, winning it and cleaning him out. He doesn't, he loses it. The ball breaks and Juve goes on a run, and he's running alongside him, and I'm thinking, put the tackle in now. If you foul him and you have to take a yellow card, it's on the halfway line, doesn't matter. And he doesn't for some reason, and then he lets Tarkowski come across, but Tarkowski can't make the tackle. And it's some cross, by the way, on the run by Juve. It's a great ball in. Michael Keane gets half a flick on it instead of clearing it. And then it's up to Mykolenko's got to get out and close Jared Bowen down. He doesn't. He gives him enough room to be able to put a ball across. And Michael Keane had it past Pickford, and it's 1-1, and it was almost from nothing. And I think it's sort of shocked the whole stadium that they were level, and you're thinking,
we haven't seen anyone score.
Well, exactly, no one had scored it there.
There's a moment in that goal where you can almost see it I seen that ball, and there's a half second when Njai goes, almost like he knows that if he doesn't win that head, if Jacob Brien doesn't win that header, we are in no man's land. Yeah. And there's like a half a second where he almost decides, I'm going to sit behind here and play safe, and then he doesn't. He goes past Jacob Brien, and because he doesn't win the header, which is scandalous. And again, I'm watching him, and I can see this in real time, and I know exactly what's going to happen if he doesn't win that ball. And yeah, it was that little half second. If Njai just, it's not Njai's fault, but if Njai just sits, that doesn't happen. But Jacob Brien has to, because he's committed, and Njai's committed, and midfielder's committed, and it's just took that, losing that one header just kills us.
Why hasn't he put the slide tackle
in? Because he's not a right back. It's not a right back, and that's he's gone. What he's done is he's done what he's gone. He's cut across, which sometimes you're told. Well, you are told to do it as a defender. You don't. Taki's already in the race, so he's thinking, right, there's no point two of us being in the race, so I'll cut across and be the centre back.
No,
and that's all right if Taki hasn't been booked, and also it's all right if Taki's fast, and he's not. And he's made.
But it's just before that he's running alongside them, and you can make the tackle. But he doesn't.
But Taki has to take a little bit of blame for that as well. For why doesn't Taki? But Taki's like, well, I'll commit. But Taki's got to be cleverer because he can't commit. He can't go to ground. If he goes to ground and the lad's clever, he's off the pitch, and that's where they both. But Jacob Brien, and he just looked. Jacob, I said this last season. Who did we play? We played someone. We played Brighton, and
but it was only for the first.
But he was. Yeah. It was like that. He was so uncomfortable with Matoma because he wasn't even losing the pace. What it was like, you're so big that if you put your foot in the wrong place, this fella's going to find a way to fall over it. Yeah. And it was almost like that this season. I think that's the problem with having players that quick, that big against quick players, is that all it takes is an outstretched leg, and your legs are massive. I stood next to him, he's huge. I made him sit down when I interviewed him because he's that big. And that very rarely happens to me.
Happens to me a lot, but that's okay.
Yeah, so Jake was just...
And then for 10 minutes after that, I thought West Ham were going to win it, because their tails were up and they were quick on the break, weren't they? And there was about 10 or 15 minutes where it was uncomfortable. They didn't really do anything, but
there was a lot of bouncing on the box.
And it was bobbling around, he couldn't clear it.
There was one, I can't remember who it was, but one of our players had it on the edge of the box and done something really, really, really stupid and give it away. I think it might have been James Garner, and he just give it away. There's another one where one of our players went to kick it away and kicked it out for a corner.
That was O'Brien.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I didn't want to name him. Yeah. There was a lot of just a lot of like, there was no one to calm. No. And this is actually why I said against Villa about Branthwaite. It's just like, Branthwaite, he's such a good defender, but we also forget how such a calm presence he is as well. For a lad of his age, he's so calm.
And he's just calm on the ball, isn't he?
And he doesn't, he creates scenarios where those things aren't going to happen. And I think we forget that about Branthwaite. It's why everyone's linked with him, even though he's just signed a 5-year deal. It's because Michael Keane is like, he's fine, and he has been fine, but there's still that air of like, in his head, you can see him going, ah! Well, I don't think Branthwaite's got that.
No, he was calm. So Bowen had another shot that hit Taki and went wide. It was a back pass, it wasn't going nowhere, but there was a little bit. But then we did wrestle it back. Yeah. We wrestled it back off them, and Barry came on, and we had half chances again, final third. Then Dibbling came on, like, you're right, he came on, he gave us a little bit of extra that Njai wasn't giving us. He'd done a great little run, the fellas just chopped them down, and it looked like when he got it, they were a bit wary of him. We had it out to Jack, we've had a few opportunities. James Garner ends up right at the end having that shot.
That was another one that needed a nick.
Just a nick, and
that takes a nick, like theirs did, and just lifts over the goalkeeper.
I was disappointed with his free kick a couple of minutes earlier. He'd go for the far post.
I was disappointed that Kieran Dewsbury didn't fall over in the box.
Yeah.
I was like, just use your head here, lad. Just stay on your feet till you get into, and then because you're getting a foul.
Yeah.
But
he didn't.
He didn't.
But we just couldn't get the winning goal, and it is that frustration of we've sort of blown it. Set pieces, David Moyes said they were good. I disagree, totally disagree. They can't be good when we're not having chances from them. That can't be good, can it? We're not crossing it in someone's head and then wide or over.
We need something different. I mean, the goal showed. Maybe go short, play one out, change the angle, change the angle.
Well, we've done that. That was the one where Martinez made that worldie of a save from Michael Keane. We come short, got worked it, and then Grealish put it in and Keane headed it.
Change the angle and maybe get players on the way out. Because Michael Keane and Taki, slouches in the air. For the players we've got, the deliveries are terrible.
The deliveries just aren't good enough. They should be flatter, right under a bar, and you get one running across the near post for a little touch. It's too, there's just not enough of it, but it is what it is, isn't it? But I thought, like I said before, I thought James Garner had a really good game. I think others were up and down, but I thought he had a really good game. Let's have a look at his numbers last night. 87% passing accuracy, got the assist, of course. Won 75% of his ground duels. He had 3 shots on target, completed 4 out of 7 of his long balls, and his heat map there. And him and Dewsbury all have probably been Everton's best 2 players. Jack obviously has been great, but I think consistent level, most games, them 2 probably been the best 2 this season so far. Jack's been up there as well, of course. But I just think he's done really well, James Garner, because he's been moved about quite a few positions, but I thought he did well again last night. And maybe we have to look at the makeup of that midfield a little bit, though, the manager, and just when we can mix it up a little bit, maybe. I'm not quite sure, but I love Idrissa Gana Gueye, but I think
it is sod's law that the positions we're sort of crying out for, the players are injured in there. Mir and Roll would probably have had more game time. Branthwaite, there's other positions, but where we haven't even got players. But maybe having a little bit more of a grip in some positions allows Moyes to start making more subs, and maybe that encourages him to make more subs, because he feels like players will take responsibility when they come on. It'll be more of a like for like, so therefore it's not like taking a risk. Do you know what I mean? So you've got Branthwaite would obviously start the games, but if you've got a role coming on, that's less of a risk. So then that means you can bring somebody else on. Because it is important. It is important that we are making 3, 4, 5
everyone else's,
because the energy levels are like ours dip. The minute a player's energy looks like we're going 75 minutes, no one should ever go, our players look knackered. There should be 5 new players on the pitch.
Yeah.
That's what other teams do.
You're spot on. Let's have a look at the overall match stats anyway. Everton won. West Ham United won 12 attempts at goal to 14 from the hamstring.
The XG, don't win it, 0.73 for us.
Well, that's it. And Everton won the thing, but we had 6 on target today. 3. Well, there's the goal and the Somerville chance. He was middle of the goal. Somerville, wasn't he, with Pickford, so it's a high XG. Ours with their keepers had to make saves. Pickford to make 1 save from it, but we move on, and like I said before, it's 4 games unbeaten, I guess, if you want to really take the positives, and we've obviously got a really tough game on Sunday, but you never know. You never know, do you? We might have a little rub of the green and all that, and see what happens with it. But they are a good side, and but we know, you're right. We know where our sort of deficiencies are. That full back, and it's the final third, the striker. Ones who guarantee goals cost big money. And we didn't have big money to spend on one, but we definitely need improvements. And again, I've said it like a broken record, that I'd be getting a striker coach in, even on a short-term basis, and trying to squeeze everything I can out of the other 2. And it was like you were saying before, when you were talking sort of Callum Wilson. Well, a centre-forward coach would do that, about what areas to go into. When it's there, go in and come back, and you get yourself a tap in, or get across the keeper for a little nick. And what about we did have a shout for a handball.
We did, but I don't think it was. I don't think it was. I just think it's a double impact.
They're the balls we should be doing on near posts, whacking them low and trying to get across the keeper. But all in all, 1-1 and we move on from it. So
it's not a word I normally use to associate with Everton. Frustration.
Yeah. There you go. Right, we're going to be going through your comments on Premier now. If you want to be a Premier member, links in the description. QR code will be on the
2 months for the price of a donut.
I mean, that's a shout, isn't it?
Do you know what I mean?
That is a shout.
That's the new way.
That's the new donut.
It's the new valuation on everything. Just say, how many donuts could I get for this?
Yeah.
That's the way you got to look at it. Everything in life now is valued against an Everton donut. It's the new currency. It really is. Crypto.
Yeah.
Dodo.
Frank tokens, whatever.
2 months, 2 months, 1 donut.
There you go.
And we have less impact on your hips.
Hips don't lie.
Yeah.
There you go. Otherwise, make sure you like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you later.